Okay, good morning. This is a nice day seven day off day, and I thought I'd take this opportunity to kind of give like the quick and dirty on all the factors, not all the factors, all the major factors that kind of relate to the aging process and how it ties in with exercise. And even though exercise is probably your best magic bullet for fighting against those age-related the decline as you age that relates to the diseases that are therefore related to aging. There it still needs to be a multifaceted approach. So exercise we're taking care of, right? If as long as we're staying consistent, we're kind of wrapped our brains around the fact is that as long as we're doing some cardiovascular training where we're raising that heart rate up, we're getting a sustained elevated heart rate, and we're doing things that are challenging that cardiorespiratory cardiovascular system. Okay, we know that we can get we're going to get some benefit there. Also, we are becoming more proficient in those patterns that humans do, right? We squat, lunge, push, pull, hinge, twist, right? So now we're getting better at performing those, and we've started to incorporate a stretching routine on a regular basis. So no matter what, even if you do full range of motion movement patterns, you're going to have to stretch because those patterns aren't enough to really to mitigate the tightening that takes place in just daily life, sleeping, sitting, stress, whatever you're going to be doing. So we need a stretch program. It just you can't get there any other way. So we've incorporated that, right? We got our cardio, we're doing our strength training, and we have our flexibility. Okay, so now what are the other factors that need to take place? So excuse me. Okay. Well, the number one factor at any age that relates to how well your body responds to anything, how well it fights off, infection and all these things, is sleep. And we as a society we chronically run low on sleep. All things get better when you get the proper amount of sleep. So that's what you got to try to find and manage, right? So if you're always pushing the envelope, and this present company included, right? I'm getting up at 4:30 to come out and train. What time do I need to go to bed at night? Well, 7 hours is about the minimum. That's a good hard number to start to get to. So if you're not getting 7 hours continuous, try to adjust your schedule and mindset so that you can get that 7. The body just can't do it on anything less. If you're doing 5 hours of sleep and 5.5 hours, it will come back to haunt you. Things take place. That doesn't mean that you can't get through the day and still get your work done and so on, but you're chronically stressed. Your system hasn't had a chance to reboot. And when you chronically stress it, no matter what you do, eating habit-wise, exercise habit-wise, meditation-wise, it's not going to be able to correct that lack of sleep. So there's numerous books out there that on all the benefits of sleeping, and all of them talk about strategies that you can utilize to improve your sleep patterns. The Power of Sleep is one that I highly recommend. And I can't remember the author for that one. So that's your first thing. That's your first thing that you're trying to do. You're trying to find the point where you're going to change your schedule. You're going to manipulate that schedule until you find that, all right, I'm feeling rested. And rested is pretty, I think it's a pretty easy marker. Taking naps during the day help, right? So maybe if you have an opportunity to take that 10, 15, 20-minute power nap, and that reboots you or recharges you, and you can get through the rest of the evening, those are fine. But again, that's not going to be your ultimate reset, right? So you're going to push it in at the nighttime or the morning. start pushing it up, and you're going to find like a point. Maybe you're less. So 7 hours and 20 minutes is it fine for you to make sure that you feel recharged. You can feel your body absorbing the training. That's a really good indicator. Not needing a hit of coffee in the mid afternoon, or some type of caffeine boost in the mid afternoon is another indicator. Having a nice sustained energy level throughout the day, that's another indicator, right? So sleep. Everything we do after that, if you don't have sleep, you're really pissing into the wind. Okay, so that's your first challenge. Get over 7.5 hours. Okay, check that box. Okay, the next one is nutrition. Okay, we all know how to eat correctly. We all know. It's pretty simple, right? If it's grown or if it's raised, it's probably fine for you. All right, it's a one, like you think of it as a one step, right? If you go to the store and they just pulled it out of the ground, they washed it and put it on the counter for you to buy, or they processed it and put it into on the meat counter, that is your best choice, right? So we want to stay with the one-step foods. That's your best bet. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't ones that are two-step or so on that are necessary or should be gotten rid of. That's not the case at all. But we're going to start there. Now, the thing is that because of the commercialization and all this other marketing stuff, and I'm not going to get into like a whole rant about all this stuff, it's just to point out that a lot of these things are trying to make a buck. So you're going to have a lot of these diets come out, and they're going to report it as the next greatest thing. Let's talk about, you have the paleo diet, you have the keto diet, you have the South Beach diet, all these things. So you got Atkins diet, all this stuff that are going on there. And diets work in the short term. So I don't have a problem with them. But remember, they're doing them for the short term. All right? It has to be something that you can do sustainable. So intermittent fasting, okay. To me, intermittent fasting that's just normal eating habit, right? You shouldn't be eating continuously every hour, 2 hours, 3 hours throughout the day. It's not sustainable. You're going to take in so many more calories than you think you are when you kind of graze, because you have no idea where it is. So let's go back to some of those. Like let's do the keto, which is a really big one right now. So keto diet, right? High protein, high fats, low carbohydrate. Basically, okay, fine, yeah, it works. It works. It will help you. It will structure your eating habits and use the body's own mechanisms to help you shed some weight. Okay, fine, that's good, but it is not sustainable, and especially for that over 50 crowd, over 40 crowd for that matter, is that because it's got a lot of animal products in there, so you have the protein and the fats and so on, which that are detrimental to our internals, right? Your cholesterol is going to go up. Okay, not necessarily all just because your cholesterol goes up is a bad thing, but again, we're trying to mitigate all of these issues, right? The other thing is you're probably not going to get enough fiber in there, right? Again, as you get older, you want to make sure that system is clean, right? We want to make sure that you have a high fiber diet, because that helps keeps the pipes clean, and there's a less likelihood of increasing the risk of some type of gastrointestinal bowel issue, right? Cancer or whatever. Okay, so that's why you need to take those things into account. That's why in the short term it is fine, but from a nutritional, sustainable, something that you can fall back on that is satisfying and you can do forever, is I would recommend 2 books. The first book is by Dr. Michael Greger. It's How Not to Die. What a great title, right? It says it all there. Second book is How to Eat to Beat Disease. How to Eat to Beat Disease by Dr. William Li, L.I. Okay, in those two books, they use evidence-based information to tell you, what is the healthiest way for the human body to eat, and really what it comes down to is it needs to be a vegetable, fruit, plant-based, focused diet, nutrition plan. So does that mean that you throw all meat products and all dairy products and all that stuff out the window? No, not in my case. I don't think that is it at all. Some people may not like those things. Maybe they're not that palatable, so it's not as enjoyable. Do I want to be eating meat at every meal? No, that's really not the most healthy way to be formatting your menu plan. But if you have your primary focus should be plant-based. One of the best suggestions I ever came across is 5 and 2. 5 for Monday through Friday, be vegetarian, and then on Saturday and Sunday, that's when you have your meat. Have meat at dinner, meat products at dinner. Or if you're just not a meat person, have a little more fish. So the benefits of fish are higher than they are for animal protein. Okay, so that's what you're going for. And the other thing too, again, you're looking at the steps. So we want to stay away from processed food. The ones that are way on down the line. Breakfast cereal is a perfect example. It's just have oatmeal. Why would you have a breakfast cereal when you can have such a delicious oatmeal? You can have oatmeal, and then you can put in some blueberries, cranberries. You can put in some tree nuts with that. And now you've really hit, if you read Dr. Li's book on How to Eat to Beat Disease, he talks about grand slammers, foods that impact the body's 5 ways of fighting disease through its immune function. So, if you've primarily based your eating habits off of that, great. That would be your way to go. All right, so there you are with nutrition. Eat one-step foods and primarily focus on plant-based, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can have some other animal protein products, sources. Okay, so let's